Welcome to .NET Weekly, where we will see all the news in the world of .NET and spotlighting interesting new articles you might want to check out. Let's see what happened in the past weeks. There isn't much official news to cover in this week, but one important thing happened in .NET world is that Executive Director of .NET Foundation has resigned her position after a series of controversies. Some may be happy to hear this news, others will be sad to hear this. But personally, as a .NET fan, I would like to thank her for all the good things she has done in the .NET world and wish her the good luck for her next role. Next, we can check out some informative articles from the past week. If you are like me, then you would also like to know about the working mechanism and have a deeper understanding. Then here is a series of articles for you. Currently, there is 4 parts. First one is all about Configuration Manager, which is introduced in .NET 6. Next 2 articles is about the new Web Application Builder. And the last articles is about building a middleware pipeline. After reading these articles, I can assure you that you will have a deeper understanding. So please check these articles out. There are many built-in dictionary and mapping types in .NET. If you want to have an overview of difference among them, then check this Twitter thread out. For example, concurrency dictionary has good read speed even in the face of concurrency, but it is a heavyweight object to create and slower to update. Next example is dictionary with lock. It has a poor read speed, lightweight to create, and medium update speed. Check out these tweets for more info. This article will explain you what is disposable type, why should we use it, and how to find disposable type easily. One interesting point I learned from this article is that we should be careful when we are creating inline instance. If the instance is a disposable instance, then it will never get disposed. Staying in the same topic, I like to spotlight Disposable Fixer Visual Studio extension, which will detect the disposable instance. Please note, this extension is not perfect in finding whether the disposed is already called in a disposable object, but it is very accurate in finding all the disposable object so that we can manually fix it. Most of us are still using HTTP 1.1, but HTTP 3 is ready and .NET has added support for it in .NET 6. HTTP 3 uses a new protocol called QUIC, which is based on good old UDP. The advantage of HTTP 3 sounds promising, but its support is still in infancy stage. Currently, there is no support in most of the popular technologies like gRPC. If you want to learn about HTTP 3, its advantages, and how to try out in .NET 6, then check this wonderful article out. If you are planning to migrate from .NET 5 to .NET 6 or just want to learn about all the difference like me, then check this post out. Make sure to check out the FAQ section as well. It contains some interesting informations. In this article, the sample code for .NET 6 is written in minimal API, but keep in mind that it is not a mandatory way to configure the host. The good old generic host still works and will continue working in future releases as well. I often confuse ID token and access token. Here is a wonderful video that explains what they are and how they are different from each other. In short, ID tokens are tokens that are used for authentication and they are not sent with any API calls. Access token, on the other hand, is used for authorization and sent with APIs that needs authorization. On to this week's tip section. Here are some of the useful Visual Studio extensions. CodeMade extension will help you clean up the project files like removing unused using statement and many more. Solution Error Visualizer extension shows the error and warning squiggly lines in the Solution Explorer. It's very useful to identify the files with error. Visual Studio Spell Check extension helps to spell check in our code. Personally, it is very useful for me as I make ton of typos. Error Helper extension allows to search errors in Google or Stack Overflow in a single click. That's it for this week. Check the description for all the links to the article, and I have some more additional articles added in the description that you might be interested in. That's it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next .NET Weekly.